3 cops in Wilmington, North Carolina were fired over various racist comments. Some saying they want a race war, that they can't wait to kill black people, and various other things. This just still goes to show the amount of racism within the police force, and how it's pretty much ingrained within cops to be racist. In my opinion, more should be done than just firing these cops. All their cases, all their arrests and stuff need to be looked at. If they have arrested black people, it needs to be reinvestigated to see if there was any racial motivations for the arrest.
Amid other shocking reports out of North Carolina, where 3 officers in Wilmington were just fired after a supervisor discovered a nearly 2-hour-long rant with racist statements and threats. It was apparently accidentally recorded, a patrol car camera capturing one of the officers saying the country needed a, quote, civil war to, quote, wipe black people, quote, off the map. An officer also talked about, quote, slaughtering people based on their race. The officers also used racial slurs that we will not note or repeat in our broadcast. Now, Wilmington's police chief, a black American who actually is in his first week on the job, responding by saying this.
When I first learned of these conversations, I was shocked, saddened, and disgusted. There is no place for this behavior in our agency or our city, and it will not be tolerated.
We're joined now for a special discussion with Janelle Ross from NBC News Digital and Isaac Wright Jr. He was sentenced to life in prison after being wrongly convicted for a drug offense. He became a paralegal in prison, working with others on his own exoneration. He's now a licensed attorney in New Jersey. And we should note the ABC show For Life is actually based on his experience, so may be familiar to some. Thanks to both of you for joining me.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
We're going to get into all of it, but Janelle, your view of the story we just showed and what it says about what's available, what you sometimes find under the hood, at least in some departments.
Well, a few things. I think, one, it does really emphasize something that Reverend Sharpton just said, which is the importance of actually making use of the technology that many police officers have been outfitted with, actually listening to tapes and not relying simply on what police themselves report. I think, obviously, police are a microcosm of the American public. So you're going to find police officers who say many of the same things that people across the country say. It is, in that sense, not completely shocking that this tape exists. Is it disturbing? Yes, in the sense that these are people who have, they are armed and they've been given license to enforce the law up to and to death, right? So it is certainly scary.
Yeah, this is the reason why some cops are upset over the fact that qualified immunity is being questioned. Like cops in Colorado who are fleeing Colorado because Colorado, the governor, Pelosi, removed qualified immunity for cops. So cops are fleeing the state, or some are quitting. And it's because they want to be able to kill black people and not get in trouble. And if they're going to get in trouble for killing black people, they're going to go somewhere where they will be allowed to, or quit the force. It's the same as in Atlanta, Georgia, where cops are going to other departments. And you also got other departments offering positions for cops that are wanting to leave Atlanta. And you also have some that are quitting the force. And it's because they enjoy killing black people, and if they cannot be able to kill black people, they do not want to be part of the police force.
This is their sort of goal or even casual conversation. But what we can extrapolate from this, beyond these particular officers, it's pretty hard to say.
Isaac, you're nodding.
Yes, I'm nodding. I agree with everything she says. I think one of the major tragedies in this, when you look back at American history is that for some reason, we're always looking for the federal government to come in and protect us. I mean, since Reconstruction, we've been looking for the federal government to come in and protect us. And I think that's a tragedy, specifically because that is not supposed to happen. The states, at the time this country was created, the states were imbued with the authority and the power to not only police its citizens, but protect its citizens. And for some reason, we're repeating the same things over and over and over again. And so when you hear these comments by these police officers, when you hear these racial slurs, I agree. That's not a surprise. That is something that is deep rooted in American history. That's something that is deep rooted in American culture. And when you look at our leaders who have consistently failed to do anything, they're sending an implicit message to the police that as long as you're not caught, it's okay. But when you do get caught, we have to figure out a way to punish you or to deal with the issue without making major changes. And it brings us back over and over and over again to the same cycle. And that's where we're at today.
Well, and your point there really dovetails with what Janelle and the Rev were saying, which is you get this far to create evidence, aka facts, and then you have leaders who are so bent on avoiding it that they will admit in public, we didn't look at the video, we didn't look at the facts, we didn't look at the evidence. That's a tell. And a private citizen who doesn't have the, as Janelle was saying, the authority to detain, arrest, and kill, private citizen wants to stay ignorant, that's their call. Hey, I'm